What's up? Yeah. Well, our aim in what we've just done by putting the Molesworth sign up and a roundabout in Nottingham is to try to draw home to people locally that what is happening at Molesworth as it's being turned into a nuclear cruise missile base is something that will affect people in Nottingham, in parts of the country other than Molesworth. In this case, anywhere within a 100-mile radius of the base, because cruise missiles, as is well known, are designed to be mobile. In the event of any international tension or crisis, they could be dispersed to anywhere within 100 miles of the base. And of course Nottingham comes within that radius.
In 1649, to St George's Hill, a ragged band they called the Diggers came to show the people's will. They defied the landlords, they defied the laws. They were the dispossessed, reclaiming what was theirs. We come in peace, they said, to dig and sow. We come to work the lands in common and to make the waste grounds grow. This earth divided, we will make whole, so it will be a common treasury for all. The sin of property we do disdain. No man has any right to buy and sell the earth for private gain. By theft and murder they took the land. Now everywhere the walls spring up at their command. They make the laws to chain us well. The clergy dazzle us with heaven, or they damn us into hell. We will not worship the God they serve, the God of greed who feeds the rich while poor men starve. We work, we eat together, we need no swords. We will not bow to the masters or pay rent to the lords. We are free men, though we are poor. You diggers all stand up for glory, stand up now. Men of property, the orders came. They sent the hired men and troopers to wipe out the diggers' claim, tear down their cottages, destroy their corn. They were dispersed, but still the vision lingers on. You poor take courage, you rich take care. This earth was made a common treasury for everyone to share. All things in common, all people one. We come in peace, the orders came to cut them down.
And it was really lovely when we thought of the idea of the ladder, which was such a simple idea. And it was a couple of days before Easter, Saturday night, that we, a group of us went down with a ladder and crawled for what seemed like miles in a full moon. It was really bright and like we could see everything, and we were just hoping that they couldn't see us, so we were wearing sort of dark clothes and dark balaclavas and just sort of, I mean, it was a lovely evening. It was really nice and warm, except, you know, it was far too hot wearing all these clothes, and crawling through the fence and sort of crawling through the fields, dragging this ladder, sort of doing it on hands and knees for miles, and you saw the lights in the distance, and each time we moved forward it seemed like there was birds going from the trees, and every now and again we had to stop just to let the birds settle down in case they sort of knew that the birds were coming from nearer and nearer, so that they could tell we were coming closer. And it was all real sort of, you know, boom, boom, boom stuff. It was really scary, really exhilarating. And we got the ladder up in the right place, and one person went up, and it seemed to take ages for them to drop off the other end, and then there was this almighty thud with this person with the backpack full of banners, because the idea was to climb onto the water tower and put the banners up for Easter. And the person who dropped off the other end, you know, it seemed ages before they actually got up on the other side of the fence, and eventually they did and scurried off. And the second person by that time had been sort of on, and they jumped off. And then, it must have been a few seconds after that, there was this sort of searchlight and this car that drew up.
I thought it might be a little bit difficult to get into the airfare looking my usual scraggy self, so I have applied the makeup, the nail varnish and the baby. And it works, because I think the reason they didn't process me is because pregnant women are invisible, so it actually works. I recommend pregnancy to anyone doing an action.
And there was all the wonderful plans for what we're going to do with it, and all the wheat. And we just decided that we were going to have a regional spot where the bunkers are. And we were going to build this wonderful, I was going to build a water garden.
I mean, the morning when I woke up and I heard it on the news, that morning I just dissolved into tears.
When the fence went up, it was awful. Because like it just seemed really silly that they were fencing in this empty space.
And it really took me by surprise. And it's that which gave me a lot of energy and enthusiasm to do things.
Very, very heavy. It was like really, like getting down there was a problem. Every road within about half a mile of the base was just sealed off by police and being followed around by police. And like to get there, we actually had to go across country. We sort of went out of our way to 4 miles across country to get there. When we did get there, there was like troops and police just swamping the whole area, and sort of small bands of evicted peace campers meandering all over the countryside.
The idea of them building this base from scratch, from nothing, that really kind of spurred me on.
Maybe if Nottingham and the East Midlands hadn't been concentrating on it and doing so much at Molesworth, then they probably would just let it go and it would be built, and afterwards people would say, well, how did that happen? Whereas now we're trying to stop it happening before it gets as far as being a base. It's a really good chance to try and prevent something happening, rather than just hitting it afterwards. Before it went up, it was like
death, horrendous death.
Lots of empty, open space. And you couldn't really relate it to what was going to happen there.
I don't think it was exactly a feeling of being depressed by it, but I think it was a realisation of the sort of powerful state machine, that they could actually do it.
Lots of empty, open space.
Horrendous death.
What we intend is we're marching from Alconbury to Molesworth via Alconbury Western and Alconbury, and ending up with the gate party at the gate at Cockbrook Lodge, which is the main gate which the contractors and the military use at Molesworth. We're having a gate party there. We've got lots of balloons, crazy foam, bazookas, streamers,
and we're going to play games and have the party.
Well, it looks like a really good day to me. Everybody seems to be in a really good mood. There's a tremendous atmosphere. It's a really nice sunny day, which is exactly what we hoped for.
We're making a sort of conscious attempt to try and get people who aren't overtly into civil disobedience to get them involved, and having a party today on a really nice day like today is, I think it's going to be a step forward, because we've got a lot of party games and funny hats and really good things like that organised for people. And the last thing you want really on the demonstrations, especially at bases like this out in the middle of nowhere, is just for people to be sitting around doing nothing while all the MVDA crew have got over the fence and they're languishing in Huntingdon police station. Or...
That's happened a lot in the past, has it?
I think it's happened quite a lot in the past, yeah, and I mean, I'm glad to see something like this, because it gives something for everybody to do.
Hello. I'm doing the things I'm doing for the cause of peace. You see, I'm even being videoed, and I hate having my photograph taken.
For sort of big towns like Nottingham and Leicester and stuff like that seem to have a sort of coherent group and able to do their own thing, it's probably best for them to do that. But for some of the sort of smaller towns that haven't got so many activists, it's much better to get together on coordinated days like this. I think it gives people a lot more strength than if, you know, a handful of people kind of go up there and sort of feel intimidated by hundreds of police and soldiers and all the rest of it. Whereas if you've got a few hundred people like this, I think people feel an awful lot happier about doing things, a lot more confident.
Okay, so I'll start at the beginning again, yeah? Okay. We felt it was important to make it sort of like a real party spirit, because lots of people don't know anything about NVDA or are frightened by it. And so by having a sort of carnival spirit, we can make it a family occasion, get more people involved. And what we've done is we've produced a sheet here. First of all, there's chants, there's songs.
I don't know if you noticed, but no vehicles have come in and out of this gate yet here today.
It's all a symptom of this sick society. The whole thing's interlinked, and we've got to keep on protesting, right?
A group are going down with leaflets, and these leaflets say that Alconbury is the command centre, control centre for cruise missiles. Do you realise what cruise missiles can do? So we're going there, I think, mainly as educationalists, give out these leaflets to people to make them realise it isn't only sweet bombers.
Well, the simple background is that Alconbury and Molesworth are intimately linked together, in that Alconbury will be the command and control centre for Molesworth. I think it's pretty likely that the missiles will come into Molesworth via Alconbury. They'll be landed by air at Alconbury and taken by road to Molesworth.
Tarmac Construction it's one of the firms involved with the actual construction at Molesworth, USAF Molesworth. At the moment it's building the roads there, and it's competing to build the silos there like it did at Greenham. What happened in Nottingham was that Defend Molesworth Group in Nottingham took on a day of picketing at tarmac sites in the city, and leaflets were printed and people asked to come down to leaflet and hold placards. At two sites in Nottingham, one at a construction site, I think the main construction site in the city at the time, and the other at the headquarters in West Bridgford.
I think as well that to make people realise that it isn't a British base, it is an American base, and that I don't think we have any control over what the Americans are doing there.
Direct action doesn't stop for me in a porter cabin on an airboat. It's taking a personal responsibility for social injustice. We're constantly looking for someone else to make decisions for us, for someone else to lead us and tell us what to do. We find it almost impossible to take charge of our own lives, to stand up for ourselves and say, no, I'm not paying your fine. I'm not going to take your punishment. I'm not a criminal. I'm not going to be criminalised, and I'm not going to be punished by you. You're sent to prison. You're sent to prison. You're sent to prison. I decided while I was in prison to go on a hunger strike as part of the policy of non-cooperation, was also to link it with starvation. Take power into your own hands. You can recognise your own strengths, and you can turn the situation. Reaffirms your own power. Reaffirms your own power.
Is it going? Whatever they put there to stop us, it's not going to stop us, because we believe that we're right, and that we're not going to just let them carry on doing it. We've got our right to stand up and say we don't want this, and if they're forcing us into the position that if we protest we get arrested, then there's very little choice. You just get arrested.
And I don't see how any action that we take can be seen as fanatical. What they're planning to do is so immense and disgusting. Like, even if ripping down fences is nothing, or blocking roads and traffic, it is like nothing compared to that. But as for how other...
My realisation has been that getting arrested and fined and stuff and going to court's just absolutely nothing at all, you know. I suppose I didn't want to thought that not a year or two ago, but there's just nothing to it at all. It's the biggest sort of punishment they've got, and it's nothing.
Being arrested isn't the end of the world. It's just something else that happens in a day at Molesworth. It doesn't do anything. I know someone said you get up the next morning and you're not changed at all.
Do you want to go?
Doing direct action itself is very exciting. I mean, the whole thing of getting together with people and building trust between you and working out your plans and then going and doing it and overcoming all the sort of screw-ups that happen on the way and all the difficulties and playing cat and mouse with the police. It's great fun. I really love that.
Got it? Yeah. All right.
What should have happened is we should sort of try and stop what they're doing in there. Like that does make it direct if you occupy contractors' vehicles or damage machinery or occupy a water tower or something. That halts what they're doing there, and that is really what we should be trying to do. That is what I see as direct action is all about.
It's for all the people who work in the background as well, you know, the people who are in the minibuses, the people who are on the phones back in the office, the people who do the press work and the legal backup and the sort of coordination of the transport. All those people are important. The people on the other side of the fence who just go to sort of help and support the people who go over. They're just as important as the people who take the limelight, so to speak, you know, the people who get in the news.
Brass strap deployments. Look, you see, you undo them and then you thread them like that, then you thread them back through again. And they're really lethal. Look at this.
old and strong, he goes on.
I think those laws need challenging because they're just completely stupid, and if people get the courage to challenge laws because they're stupid, then they'll realise there's a lot more stupid laws and maybe they'll challenge them as well. Yeah, if they tell us how we can protest and then they end up telling us that we can't protest at all, which is what they're doing at Molesworth, then they can do what they like and then they'll say that people agree with what they're doing because there's no protest about it.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, you're causing obstruction here, please. I would ask you to move off the highway, please.
We're making a peaceful protest against what's happening at this base.
You're obstructing this vehicle entering the base. Will you move out of the road, please?
Do you realise that the majority of people don't want to use this country?
If you don't move off the road, we will have to remove you. Will you please move?
I suppose it's a matter of civil liberties as well as anything else. We have to reaffirm that we are going to continue to make a noise about what's going on, whatever they say to us.
Michael Heseltine was in effect saying that by putting the fence up so quickly, he was sort of inferring that CND had their fun, and the MOD meant business now, and they put the fence up and that was it. You know, all the CND people can just pack up and go home. That's it.
It was great to see the sheep there. There were these electric fences about 2 foot high, and sheep weren't allowed to go anywhere near the hangars. And looking at it now...
There aren't any sheep at Molesworth, Jazz, sorry.
There was sheep! There were loads of sheep!
CND badges, money to sack and victimise miners!
national demonstration. Well, like, there was 20,000 people there, and if they had all said, we're not going to obey your silly laws and your bylaws, and had just decided to take the place apart then, it would have been taken apart, and the implications of that would have been amazing. I don't think the government would have been able to react to that kind of actual physical opposition to it.
It was just nice to see people getting there, and so many coaches, an incredible number of coaches. I mean, I think there must have been more than 20,000 there. There were just so many coaches, I couldn't believe it. It was just, I was really impressed with the whole thing. They'd rather think of us as loonies who, you know, well-meaning, as the phrase goes, you know, but nothing important really. So they tried to treat us on that level.
Quite simply, the reason why people should go to Molesworth is that they are building genocide bases against our wishes. And unless we stop them, unless we stop the madness of those bases, then they are going to create a Holocaust. They're going to destroy everything we know.
Know that what we're doing is right and what they're doing is wrong, and we're doing whatever we can to make sure that what they want to do doesn't happen. I don't tend to think of it in terms of actual holocausts and missiles and things, although when you go near bases you tend to start thinking about things like that.
It's government trampling on people and getting the judiciary and the police and the military to do their wicked things for them, and really opposition to Molesworth is really part of just opposition to the whole thing of government and what they do to our lives and what control they have. And the ecological thing as well, like, it was beautiful countryside there. It was virtually common land. All the farmers used that land there to feed their livestock and stuff, and now it's all been fenced off and turned into a death camp.
Yeah, and there's people starving. That's the worst thing. All these millions of people starving to death, and they're producing weapons just to kill millions of people. It just doesn't add up. I mean, nobody can argue in favour of that at all.
When he went to Parliament after being at Molesworth congratulating his troops, he said this: "If I had acted with less dispatch, we could have been faced with civil disobedience on that site, not just for days or weeks, but for months. When we have news from Michael Heseltine, we're not just going to be there for weeks or months. If necessary, we will be there for years."
I mean, our meetings they're not just for making decisions. You know, the more times we meet and come together and discuss things, and then go to the pub and socialise afterwards, the better. You know, it brings us together. What we hoped would happen in the beginning was that we'd get so used to going through all the different stages that need to go through to get people to go to action. We just hoped that it would become easier and easier, but I don't think we really thought it would. But it has.
Well, a group of people come together and they've got the energy and enthusiasm to do something, or just ideas. They just want to sit there and kind of throw out ideas. And you kind of draw up an agenda, you know, of what you plan for the next few months. And you work through it and think about everything that's got to be done. And then people who are there saying, well, I'm willing to do this. I know somebody else who will be willing to be a late driver.
Decide what kind of backup
us
you're
two
going to
get
have.
together and do
Get minibus drivers, book minibuses, get people to staff the office.
Late night car drivers.
Late night car drivers in case people are left in
legal
Hamilton.
backup.
Legal backup for people. Press officers, you've got press releases.
Coach stewards.
Press releases. Someone has to write the press release. Press releases have to go out. Coach stewards, yeah.
We've had some very good drivers, very friendly, right behind us, especially Keith, but we haven't seen Keith for a while. think he might have been dissolved by the government or something. I think he was a bit too friendly. We do make some mistakes, mind you. You know, it sounds like this is a professional operation, but we always make some mistakes. Really silly mistakes as well, you know. We are by no means perfect.
But we'll get there soon.
I mean, that's when you learn, isn't it, when you make a mistake? If you keep on and on, everything working, it's as if you're only doing a limited number of things and you're not opening yourself out for possibilities that you hadn't foreseen. So every time we make a mistake, we think, we won't do that again. We'll get it right next time.
It's because we've done something new as well.
And we analyse what we've done.
This is terrorism that is part of a pattern, the work of a confederation of terrorist states. This is terrorism that is part of a pattern, the work of a confederation of terrorist states. The work of a confederation of terrorist states. Terrorist states. Terrorist states. Terrorist states. A new international version of Murder Incorporated.
It's totally changed my life.
Cutting a small piece of the inner fence surrounding Molesworth and taking that away.
1985 bylaws. Prohibited activities. No persons shall A. Enter or leave or attempt to enter or leave the protected area except by way of an authorised entrance or exit.
I was defying the efforts of the Ministry of Defence, of our own government in effect, to keep me away.
Given by or on behalf of one of the persons mentioned in Bylaw 5.1.
Run by the strangest collection of misfits, Looney Tunes, and squalid criminals since the advent of the Third Reich.
Who will is defending Molesworth? The Ministry of Defence with their barbed wire and their cruise missiles, or as he does, who are trying to break that barbed wire down and get in there.
In the protected area after having been directed to leave by any of the persons mentioned in Bylaw 4.
I feel that
obstruct any constable, including a constable under the control of the Defence Council.
Do something about it.
Acting in the proper exercise or execution of his duty within the protected area. G. Enter any part of the protected area which is shown by notice as being prohibited or restricted.
Climbing over those fences and getting into the base itself.
Poster, bill, notice or object within the protected area or affix the same to either side of the perimeter fences without authority or permission given by or on behalf of one of the persons mentioned in Bylaw 5.1. J. Interfere with or remove from the protected area any property under the control of the Crown of the service authorities of a visiting force, or in either case their agents or contractors. K. Willfully damage, destroy, deface or remove any notice board or sign within the protected area.
30 days.
Willfully damage, soil, deface or mark any wall, fence, structure, floor, pavement or any other surface
the work of a confederation
within the
of
protected
terrorist
area.
states.
Come on, move on. Sorry, what's the problem?
Move on, mate, come on.
What's the problem?
Move on, right? Do what you're told for once.
Pa, 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 pa,
Bist du mir nun ganz ergeben?
Oh, bin ich dir ganz ergeben?
Nun so sei mein liebes Weibchen.
Nun so sei mein Herzensweibchen,
Mein liebes Weibchen, mein Herzensweibchen. Welche Freude wird das sein?
Welche Freude wird das sein?
Wenn die Götter uns bedenken.
Wenn die Götter uns bedenken.
Unsere liebe Kinder schenken, unsere liebe Kinder schenken, zu liebe kleine Kinderlein, 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 zu liebe kleine Kinderlein, zu liebe kleine Kinderlein. Erst eine kleine Papageno,
dann eine kleine Papageno,
dann wieder eine Papageno,
dann wieder eine Papageno,
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 Papageno, Papageno. Es ist das höchste der Gefühle. Es ist das höchste der Gefühle. Wenn viele,
You should stop playing with your hands when acting serious bits.
It's because I'm thinking. No, I'm listening, don't worry.
But it's very distracting for the camera. You've got to be professional about it. Someone's watching it, it's got this person going right there.
Sorry. Won't do it again.
Well, I think I've said.
You can say it again if you like, and I won't move my hands.
I don't know if I could say it again.
Can I go now?